Two surprising stories have shaken up the Detroit Lions news after their latest win. The first centers around an unexpected injury that, as strange as it sounds, might actually help the Lions, and you'll soon understand why. The second is all about a shocking turnaround on defense that no one saw coming. This team pulled off something that left everyone stunned. Something big is brewing in Detroit, and behind-the-scenes details reveal it all. Let's start by breaking down how an injury could turn into a valuable draft pick. Alright, so here's a twist nobody saw coming. DJ Reed getting injured might actually end up helping the Detroit Lions, at least when it comes to draft picks. Sounds backwards, but let me break it down. The Lions went out and grabbed Reed this offseason, slotting him in as the replacement for Carlton Davis. And early on, you could tell he was a solid addition to the secondary. Impactful, aggressive, all the good stuff. But then, boom, injury strikes, and Reed gets slapped on IR. Now everyone's wondering, when's he coming back? Well, here's where it gets interesting. Thanks to the NFL's weirdly complicated compensatory pick formula, which only like 5 people on the planet actually understand, the Lions might score a 4th-round pick just because Reed hasn't played enough snaps. Nick Court from Over the Cap, the Gandalf of comp picks, laid it all out. Since Reed came in as a CFA, compensatory free agent, to replace Davis, also a CFA, there's a formula that balances their playtime. Basically, if Reed doesn't see the field much and Davis is out there doing his thing, the league might view Davis as a net loss and hand Detroit a comp pick to make up for it. Right now, Reed has only played about 48% of the snap threshold he'd need to disqualify the Lions from that pick. And according to Corda, they're juiced on the outside looking in. So if Reed stays sidelined a little longer and Davis keeps stacking snaps, Detroit might sneak into a bonus day 3 draft pick. But before Lions fans go penciling that extra 4th rounder into next year's mock drafts, pump the brakes. It's a long shot, and definitely not something the team's going to tank a return for. Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell aren't in this for paperwork trophies. They want wins, plain and simple. So the moment Reed is healthy and ready to go, they're plugging him right back in. Still, it's a wild little wrinkle in the NFL's comp pick world. One injury might just turn into an unexpected draft day win. But if you thought that was wild, wait until you see what the defense pulled off without Glenn and with almost no starters. And this just came out. No Aaron Glenn? No problem. Actually, things might be better without him. The Detroit Lions are turning heads with how well their defense has held up under first-year play caller Kelvin Sheppard. And it's not just some fluky hot streak. Despite a laundry list of injuries and even a suspension to Brian Branch, Sheppard's squad put on an absolute clinic during their Monday night beatdown of the Bucs. Here's the wild part. The Lions were without their entire Week 1 starting secondary. That's DJ Reed, Terrion Arnold, Kirby Joseph, and Branch all sidelined. So who stepped in? Amik Robertson and Rock Ya-Sin held it down at corner until Ya-Sin cramped up, then Arthur Mollett and Nick Whiteside jumped in. And the safeties? Thomas Harper and Eric Hallett, guys so deep on the depth chart most fans couldn't pick them out of a lineup, were thrust into the spotlight. And they delivered. Mollett, who was on the practice squad like 5 minutes ago, finished with 5 tackles, a pass breakup, and even snatched a crucial pick off Baker Mayfield. Whiteside, with barely any defensive snaps to his name before this game, looked like a seasoned vet, knocking away 3 passes and making a clutch deflection in the end zone. All that against a Bucs offense that had been humming, averaging over 27 points and 350-plus yards a game. Detroit held them to 9 points and 251 total yards. That's not just surviving with backups, that's domination. Meanwhile, the front 7 brought the heat all night. Aiden Hutchinson was an absolute menace, 11 pressures alone. Jack Campbell and Derek Barnes were everywhere, racking up tackles, sacks, and just wreaking havoc. They were both rewarded with game balls, and Barnes made sure to shout out Sheppard. This really goes to Shep, man. And he's not wrong. The guy's game plan was airtight. Despite missing key pieces, Sheppard had this defense flying around and making plays from whistle to whistle. He's got that rare combo of locker room respect and sharp football IQ, probably thanks to his own days as an NFL linebacker and his time coaching many of these guys as Detroit's former LB coach. Dan Campbell couldn't stop gushing about the patchwork secondary either. Post-game, he rattled off name after name: Mollett, Harper, Whiteside, Robertson, just soaking in how hard they battled and how ready they were. Oh, and don't think this was a one-night thing. Detroit's defense has quietly become one of the league's best at generating pressure and forcing turnovers. They've logged 2 sacks and a forced fumble in 6 straight games. a franchise feat they haven't matched since 1999. On one side, a bit of luck might bring an extra pick. On the other, pure grit and execution just turned Detroit's defense into one of the league's best. If this keeps up, sky's the limit. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what's next.